Hello, parents of Aries children. Welcome to February. This is your reading for your child. I'm using different cards for the same, I guess, format. So we have, what your child's energy is, what's the situation, what's changing, the solution, and a card for you. So I'm using a few different decks, and that will be explained in the welcome video. So make sure you take a look at that. So let's get into your reading for your Aries child for February. And we thank you, Spirit, for what you have to share. So, oh, that's great. So your Aries child, they have the Sun card, very jovial, and you see it has a little child on it, but just bright, sunny, happy. They have a lot of energy, and it's a good feel for this month. The situation, something that was lost is coming back to them. So it could be some an actual tangible thing, that a toy that they lost, or something physical that they lost, or an opportunity to redo an experience and make good on it. They've learned a lesson, now they get a second chance. What's changing is boundaries. So they probably, depending on the age, this loss that they experienced was they learned a lesson, and maybe it could be, depending on the age, they were bullied, or some kind of like maleffect came on your child, and it caused them to lose confidence. And through learning and through time, and they're getting that back. They have more confidence in themselves, and what's changing is, because of the situation that occurred, your child is learning boundaries. Boundaries are definitely definitely being put in place. And it's exciting. This is a very straightforward message. I'm not really given too much insight outside of that. I'll try my best to kind of reiterate as we're done. But the solution is, ooh, impatience. We're gonna have to look that one up. I'm definitely feeling the solution is to, go after something that you want, like post haste, like do it. That I believe that it's supposed to be. So I think that there's some words, there's some conversations that need to be spoken, because this reminds me of the throat chakra, if I'm not mistaken. And I would say that there's definitely an element of speaking their truth, and very quickly. Yes. So this is the throat chakra, and it's saying, if I don't take care of it, it will never happen. So I'll read the card. It's saying that now is not the time to make a rush decision. You have made your needs known. Now leave it alone. You may block something wonderful from coming to you if you were hasty. Interesting. I said post haste. Am I jumping the gun? Am I being honest with myself? Am I forcing something? Scarcity thinking, being exhausted by your efforts, success through patience, keywords unfolding, revelation, and success. Now, for this to be the solution, either it could mean that your child needs to be mindful of their level of impatience going forward. Holy Spirit, may I have some clarity, please. I'm going to use I'm just going to go get the deck, and I'll be right back. I'm using the Morgan Greer to clarify. I was like, what is this? That deck with the pretty colors on it, the pictures. I am almost getting a sense of knowing when to temper your speech with our Aries child, because sometimes they can act and then think later. And the solution is just being, like I was saying, to be mindful of their level of impatience. But Holy Spirit, I'm asking for your guidance and clarification on what specifically do you mean that patience is the solution? And maybe you already know. So, you know, please tell me in the comment section. That would be great. Oh, nice. So there's some, there's something that your child is working on with the eight of Pentacles. It could be a project. It could be something very important to them, dear, something like that they're very studious about. Know when. I really get temperance, which is like that's one of the other things that came to mind, is temperance, which is knowing how to temper your impatience. So let's see if we can get a little bit more clarification on what's happening. This is a great clarifying deck, by the way. I like it. I like it a lot. I try not to do too many clarifying cards because it just makes the readings like super long, and your parents and you got stuff to do. All right, can we please clarify the sun? Okay. Queen of Pentacles. Somebody knowing their worth. Yes, and going along with self-esteem or something like that. Very accomplished, that they've arrived, very studious, present, very confident, I'm seeing. So maybe it could be dealing with something like post a social situation, or it's dealing just with their overall view of themselves, confident. So we have the no, that's not the Hierophant. The Six of Pentacles in reverse. Aww. And I'm not too familiar with all the card readings. Where'd it go? Yeah, so the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it could be jealousy or envy that reap no benefits. So I really feel that for your child, that this was a social situation. In some capacity, somebody was jealous and envious. It may have been your child, or it may have been someone, another child was envious or jealous of your child. And maybe your child was teased or bullied or something of that nature for whoever this may be for. And now that situation has presented itself in a manner that your child can gain what was lost. Something is coming back. It's like I'm used to the Rider-Waite, and so when I see different pictures and I'm not really familiar, I'm like, oh, I don't know that one that much. All right, boundaries. Can we please clarify boundaries for our Aryan children? Can we please clarify boundaries? Like, I'm thinking the Three of Swords, but Ouch. Yeah, something happened. So it could have been for some. It could. I see. It could have been a fight. Somebody rushed in. Some words were exchanged. But nevertheless, it's some kind. Your child. It's almost like your Aries child is working on themselves because they're in a better place, from a difficult situation. Um, and it does feel that way. It feels very social, that your child, had some kind of like upset, some social upset, where their character was assassinated on some level at school or something, and it hurt them. But now it's like they have great energy. They see themselves the way that they're supposed to. Whatever this thing dealing with being envious and jealous, that's gone. Whatever, no longer serves them is going away. And what does serve them, like their confidence is coming back. Then also your child has learned boundaries, to trust, to know who to trust. And it's because of some, it was bound to happen, whether maybe your child said something like because we have fire here. So it's like maybe your child said something to somebody else and got their feelings hurt, or somebody said something and your child reacted and took things the wrong way. But it's almost like looking at this tower, like somebody initiated this situation, where nothing good happened. Either someone got in trouble at school, but I see your child like reacting, whether they started it for whoever this is for, or they reacted to something that somebody else started. But because they responded in that way, they may have gotten in trouble for whoever this is for. And then the solution is just, I would say, be aware of impatience. Be dutiful about, temperance. Folk being meticulous and tedious about what they're supposed to do. So it's almost like in February, your child learns a lesson, to just kind of watch their tongue, per se. But yeah, this is what happens. It's like growth after a hard lesson. So moving on with you guys, parents of Aryan children, you guys are riding on a horse. You're very confident about something, very self-assured. And yeah, you are a warrior. You may have had to come to your child's aid, or at work. You're just very stable. You're very grounded in your approach. And not only do you mean business, but you diplomatically address things. You see the flaws in the situation and you make sure that they are addressed, that they are made known, and you essentially leave like no stone unturned. It says, I am fearless, strong, and relentless, overcoming all obstacles until I achieve success. I take on a samurai mindset needed to power through any problems, challenges, or battles. So that is your message, Aries children, parents of Aries children. Please let me know how that resonates with you all for the month of February. And we thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.